Great win, man. Solid win. And getting out there, and I think what I hope is putting the rivalry to bed. The GOAT joins us now via phone. Artem Lobov is here. Hi, Artem. How are you?
Hey, how's things, man? Thank you so much for having me on the show.
Well, I appreciate you making time for us, Artem. First things first, I always ask this after a fight. How are you feeling? How are the injuries? How is everything?
Yeah, I feel good. My left hand is a little sore, but, nothing broken. A couple of cuts here and there, but as you would expect, coming out of a bare knuckle boxing fight.
Yeah, I would imagine. Now, let me ask you this. Did any of the previous cuts that you suffered in the Jason Knight fight, did they reopen, or are these new cuts?
I know they were all new cuts, but to be honest, like over my career, I've had, hundreds and hundreds of cuts and stitches on my face. So to be honest, there's probably all scar tissue on my face. So, at some point or another, it's all cuts, opening, new cuts, but, it doesn't really matter to me. So I got the win. That's the only thing that I care about.
Yeah, you certainly did. Are you happy? Well, let me ask you. Okay, let's start here. Is the rivalry over?
When you fight someone, this is kind of the pickle of conflict that you can have. Once you fought somebody, that's it. Well, there's not much to it anymore. You've went in there, you've settled it like men do, 1-on-1, and that's it. After that, I don't think there's ever a point to kind of carry it with you. Any of that negativity, just move on with your life and be positive and just enjoy your life and live a happy person. So that's how it is for me.
I noticed that when the fight was like the second that the final bell rang, Paulie bowed to you and said something. Can you tell us what he said?
No, he just said, it's all respect and, whatever was done, sorry about all that. It's in the past, whatever, we built the fight and it's all nothing but respect and that's it pretty much.
Yeah. Was that kind of buildup, was it exhausting to like have that kind of animosity all the time?
Not really, to be honest. I just concentrate on the fight. I just concentrate on my training. Having fought in the UFC have helped me, to deal with all these situations because UFC is such a huge promotion. And when you're fighting there and let's say I was the main event, sometimes co-main event, you've got so many media attention on you. You've got, people watching you the whole time. So that prepared me for situations like that, I feel. So I think I handled it pretty well.
All right, so let's talk about the fight itself. It looks to me like you won the last two clearly. I thought he won the first two. Third round, a little bit up in the air. How would you grade your performance?
I definitely could have been a better performance. There are things to work on. But I felt I won the fight definitely. I was always the one pressing the action. It was kind of harder to make the fight happen because he was moving back all the time and didn't really, stay in the pocket and exchange as even if he would in boxing often. And that's understandable. Bare knuckle is not boxing. You don't want to take any shots here. So he was a bit on his bike, but I felt I pressed the action. They also didn't let me work any of the clinch, which I was really surprised with because the rule in bare knuckle is as long as you're throwing punches, the clinch, they don't break up the clinch. And then all the time I heard the ref shout at me, stop punching, break. I was like, what do you mean stop punching? As long as I'm punching, you should be allowing the clinch to happen. But for some reason he wasn't. He literally was breaking up the clinch sooner than they would in a boxing fight. Like boxing fight, there is no clinch, but they still let them work in the clinch longer than they did in my fight. So that was very surprising to me. That was a big part of my game plan. But, I still feel I adjusted well. I landed some big shots on him. I opened up some nice cuts. And to be honest, you don't even see the biggest shot that I landed was right to his chin. So there is no mark, but it definitely hurt him and he was rocked. He wobbled. It was a difficult task at hand. I was fighting a two-time world boxing champion in basically a boxing match because clinch wasn't allowed. And I feel I done okay.
Yeah, you did more than okay. You certainly won the bout as well. What was it like to fight him? Like at first he was kind of elusive. He didn't throw a lot of punches at the end. You did. He had some good movement here or there. Like, what did you learn about Paulie as a fighter from being in there with him?
Yeah, I mean, I learned that I feel comfortable with a guy of his level. He's a boxer that was a world champion before, and I certainly didn't feel out of place there. So to me, that's all good news. I feel confident to move into the boxing world now and try a fight there. See how I do. People always say, "Oh, you'll do bad against this guy or that," but with me, you don't have to wonder. I'm willing to put everything on the line and show the world how I do.
Yeah, that'd be okay. So, what is your immediate plan? Obviously, to heal, but do you foresee a return to MMA? You're going to keep up the bare knuckle, or is it the idea that, hey, whatever promoter wants to pay the most, that's where I go?
Absolutely. Look, I'm a prize fighter. Whoever pays, that's where I fight. But I would love to try a boxing fight. MMA, of course, this is always going to be something very close to my heart. This is where I started. So MMA, I will always fight MMA. And bare knuckle, why not? So whoever pays the most, that's where I'll be.
But real quickly, before I forget, were you able to talk to the commission or the referee after and ask them why the fight was officiated that way?
No, I know why. The reason for that is because the referee is not experienced in the sport yet. The sport is very new now, even though this is a very, very old school sport. But for now, for this period, it is very new. So referees, they sort of try and maybe judge it as a boxing fight, but it is not. It's different sport. So it will take a bit of adjustment, for them to keep up with the sport. But it's no problem.
How do you feel about the damage in bare knuckle versus the damage in MMA? It seems like cuts are an issue, but maybe some of the other punches are not?
Well, absolutely. Cuts, of course, are an issue because the knuckles are bare, so of course you get cut up a lot easier. But, once again, like you said, you don't have to worry about, knees that are imparted going to your, face or kicks or elbows. It's a combat sport, so of course there's going to be dangers and there's going to be injuries and there's going to be, it is dangerous, but we get rewarded for it, so it's all good.
By the way, did you get a chance to talk to Conor about this, and if so, anything he said of note?
Yeah, I spoke to Conor. She said that was a good performance. I dominated the fight. I pressed the action all the time, and she said it was a very good performance and a great win for me.
You didn't feel like you were defending anyone else's honor other than your own, or did you? Did you feel like you had something to prove beyond just yourself?
To me, a fight is a fight. I just want to win it no matter what. But this one, of course, was a lot more personal. This was an emotional build-up, and the win was a must here. So it was a very important win. This is definitely not my favorite performance, definitely not my best performance or most exciting fight, but it was a must win. I couldn't have lost here, no way, and I didn't. I brought the win home, and that's the only thing that matters now.
So what is the plan for the rest of the year? Give me the Artem Lobov competition schedule for the next 6 or 7 months.
Well, that will depend on the offers. Like I said, I'm ready to fight. I love to fight. This is what I truly love to do. So fight itself is no problem for me. I enjoy fighting often. But of course, it will depend on what is on the table. I have to now get in contact with a few promoters and see who is willing to bring me in. We'll see. I'll keep you updated, guys.
Are you happy with the pay so far at Bare Knuckle FC?
Absolutely. I mean, look, my pay on this fight again. You can take any of the UFC cards, and I get paid more than the 90% of the fighters there. Like any UFC card you look at, there's usually like one or two guys that might get more money than me, but I get paid more than the rest of them. So, I am very happy with my pay.
I got to tell you, Artem, you might as well just accept this nickname of the GOAT. Everyone calls you that now. It makes sense. Do you like that nickname?
Look, I love humor. To me, I find it funny. Why not? Humor is always important. I've had all kinds of situations in my life. Sometimes didn't know whether we're going to have food tomorrow or not, whether we'll be able to afford our house or not the next day. But, sometimes you say a little joke and you start smiling and it feels a little bit better and you have that will to keep going and keep grinding forward. So, if that makes people smile, brings a smile to people's face, why not? Let's do it.
Yeah, but here's the point I would make, Artem. It may have started out a little bit, tongue in cheek, but now it's like, I don't know, it's taken on a new life where it's like it's a title of affection, I think, from the MMA fan base.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not even sure how it started, but somehow it did, and yeah. I mean, like I said, I don't mind. I'm all good. I'm easygoing when it comes to this sort of things.
Do you think Paulie should really retire this time, not fight anymore, just be done with it?
I think that's what he wants to do anyway. I mean, he's had a big career. He's almost 40 at this stage. I'm sure he's fighting. You have to truly love it. You have to truly want it. You have to have that fire burning in you in order to be able to do it successfully. If you don't have that fire, it is a dangerous sport. You don't want to stay there any longer because you can get very, very seriously hurt. So yeah, I'd say he probably will retire at this stage, and I wish him well.
Do you think, and again, I'm not asking for an insult at all, I'm asking just for the truth, do you feel like he didn't quite have that same competitive energy that was needed to win?
Well, I definitely, yes, I definitely felt that I wanted it more than he did, definitely.
All right, well, Artem, I got to tell you, man, great win for you, great win for your team, great win for all your supporters, and I know that you got a little bit of healing to do. Have a nice vacation. Enjoy the money you have earned, because you have certainly earned it, and we thank you so much for your time today.
Thanks a million. Really appreciate the time.